Thank you, Jim. I'm going to get right to it. So I start off with a story. So standing on the curb in front of a Las Vegas casino is Elizabeth Suarez. She is awaiting her Uber driver, like many of you and I have done before. And when that black SUV pulls up, it matches the description on her app. And when the driver waves her over and says, come over, Elizabeth asks, "You here for Liz?" He replies, "Yes, I am." So she hops in and off they go. But the next thing that she knows is that she's waking up in a hospital with a beat up body and a cast on her leg after having jumped out of a moving car. It was that car that was a fake Uber driver that kidnapped her. Now, my question is, how was she supposed to know if that driver was legitimate? So we face identity-related problems just like that. How do you know legitimately if the driver is who they claim to be and they are your actual Uber or Lyft driver? But also we face so many identity-related problems that we don't even realize them. And that's where I want to get into the coronavirus. You've probably not even thought about this, but you probably have heard about how Apple and Google are creating a contact tracer to stop the spread of coronavirus. Now, what that means is, simply put, is they need to know, professionals need to know where the coronavirus is spreading, how it spreads, so that they can stop it from spreading. Now, what Apple and Google are doing is they're creating a Bluetooth-based technology to trace where the coronavirus is. But the reason they're using Bluetooth is because they're trying to solve one huge problem, and that is to protect your privacy. Because the number one problem with contact tracing, of just tracing any infectious disease, is how do you not infringe on people's privacy, and how do you, ensure their security? In other words, I'm tying this back to authentication and identity and legitimacy, because how can you protect your information when other people have access to it that you have no control over? So as examples, right now, when you go take a coronavirus assessment, oftentimes they require that you, fill out forms and create usernames and passwords and divulge all of your information. And they tell you how much information to provide and what to provide. And when you go to a doctor's office, they tell you what information you have to provide to identify yourself. And then when you go get a prescription for a coronavirus, they tell you how you have to pay for it, how you get a receipt, how you can get coupons, how you use loyalty cards, anything that has to do with that transaction. Other people tell you. That's the point, is right now, other people tell you how you have to use your identity and your data. And that's the exact same thing that is going on with Google right now, is in Apple. They're creating an app for you, and they tell you how much information you have to provide. But the good thing is, and this is not knocking on Apple and Google, they're doing a fantastic thing, is you don't have control over what information is provided, but luckily they're doing it in a way that protects your privacy and your security. So back to my point of, wherever you go, other people are in complete control over your data and how you verify your identity. Now, that is exactly why I created Grape ID, is to solve the privacy problem, to solve the inability to have control over your own data. That's why I created a company called Grape ID. And what it does is, it's an app that puts you in complete control of your own identity and your data. And you may ask, well, how do you have complete control over your identity when other people have your data? Like, how do you even control that? Well, there are two steps to control. First is there has to be transparency. You have to know what data is being given to who, for how long, why, and all of those specific details. The second is that you have to have a rock solid way to prevent people from pretending to be you Otherwise, they'll access your data and give it to anyone for who knows how many different reasons that are usually not in your favor. So the two reasons: you have to have transparency and a unique way to stop people from accessing your data. That's what Grape ID provides. Is when, for example, you grab an Uber, if you connect Uber, because we partner with companies like Uber and hospitals and any business that you do business with, when you grab an Uber or you go to a hospital, you just present your Grape ID app, and then they get your identity information. But first, before they get that, it asks you and gives you the ability to authorize them having access to your data. And second, they are unable to get continued access unless they pass through an up to 20 layers of identity authentication. Now, here's a side note: is if someone's going to steal your identity, how would they do it right now? Let's pick, if I was a criminal, I would pick your email. All I have to do is know one simple password to hack your email account. If you think about it, that's crazy that all it takes is hacking one password, and you get access, and a hacker can get access to your email account. And then by resetting passwords to all other accounts all over the internet, they're able to get access to all of your other accounts. And all it takes is accessing and hacking one password to your email. So the point is, there's only one layer of verification right there. It's a password. And for you lucky souls who use 2 factors, you're adding 2 layers. That's great. Grape ID adds up to 20 layers of multi-factor authentication, but I'm not going to get into all the technical. Just know that having the transparency so that you know who's accessing your data, and having a way up to 20 layers of authentication to prevent other people from accessing your data, those 2 things combined are what prevent people from against your will to use your data and your identity. Those 2 things, transparency and 20 layers of authentication, are what give you complete control, because no one else can use your data unless they pass through those 2 roadblocks. So I believe personally that having complete control of your identity is a basic human right. Just like we have control over our house, we get to control who goes into our house, who sleeps on our bed, who can take our property. It's a constitutional right. I believe it's also a right to have complete control over our digital assets, our digital property, our identity, credentials, and our data. So because, again, we partner with companies like Uber and hospitals, if Elizabeth had Grape ID when she got in that car and got in the Uber car, if she had Grape ID, then she would have known in seconds that that was not her Uber driver, and it would have been prevented. And with coronavirus, with using Grape ID, we provide a way similar to what Apple and Google are doing. We provide a way to get complete control over your location data, to use that to stop the coronavirus by tracing where the coronavirus spreads. Professionals get the data they need to know where the coronavirus spreads, and you get the privacy you need because you are asked specifically, you get to authorize which entities get access to your data, and you know that they are legitimate and they know that you are legitimate. And the most important thing is that the information for everyone gets their privacy for tracking the coronavirus. Now, my main message right now is that it's a message of hope, that there are so many news articles and whatnot going on right now, about how the world is coming to an end. But my message is that of hope, that simply put, if we get our privacy, if we get control of our identity and secure our privacy, we can stop coronavirus like that. And it doesn't have to be that complicated. So what we are trying to do is literally in 4 weeks launch our Grape ID app. It's free for everyone to use, to stop the coronavirus, and we're trying to launch it at the same time as Apple and Google. And it's not that Apple and Google cannot do what we're doing. They just haven't met us yet, because to them, we're, you know, puny guys. We are insignificant. But what we are doing is literally giving people control over not just your healthcare data, but it's a permanent solution to our privacy and many security problems that we face today. So if you feel like you are frustrated with giving out your information constantly, if you feel like you're frustrated with, you know, if you fear privacy and security issues, if you're frustrated with, you know, robocalls and usernames and passwords and having way too many and filling out forms constantly and just the utter chaos that currently exists in the world, Grape ID can help, because it provides you complete control over your identity. And in addition to my message of hope, my message is also that now is the time to take control. Now is the time to take command of your own identity, because only you have the ability to claim your identity and to take control and, you know, use it in a way that benefits you. Only you have that ability. As it goes, as I said before, I believe we have the right to control our identity. So it's upon us to actually claim that right. So I'm ending my talk. We have the right to control our identity, and we can do it right now. You can go to robandersonshow.com and just sign up, and I will contact everyone and email you when the app is available for free, so that you can get control of your identity when it launches in 4 weeks. And again, that's robandersonshow.com. And so thank you very much for listening, and I look forward to working with every single one of you and hearing back how we can all get control of our identity to make our lives easier, safer, and to get our privacy, security, and convenience that we all deserve. Thank you very much.